Welcome back, my dear student. So, on this new lectures, I'm going to show you how to create an awesome delete modal with Bootstrap. Now, right now we have a little pop-up. When we click it, we get this little JavaScript pop-up, right? This doesn't look very sexy. It doesn't look very nice. I'm going to show you how to create one that looks like this. Let me show you. If I go and say Bootstrap modal, oops, I misspelled it, but my best friend is helping me. If I go here and I click here, you can see these little bots here. This is going to look very nice on our CMS, and we can have a really red delete button here and a cancel here. I mean, you're gonna see that it's going to look great. If you want to see a preview, I'm pretty sure this section is gonna have a couple more lectures. Go to the last one, and I'll show you a preview there at the end of that lecture. All right. So anyway, but it's gonna be really nice. Let me show you how we can implement this in our system. First of all, let's go and back to W3 Schools here. I believe they have the code, but you can get the code from Bootstrap. I'm gonna take this modal code from here, and I'm gonna go to admin includes, and right here I'm gonna create a new file called delete modal.php. All right, I'm gonna save it. There we go. Paste that code in there. And I'm gonna go to view or post because that's where I want to include it, right? And if I go and say include our modal delete.php, and I go back here and I refresh, oops, what did I call that file? I never included a file here, did I? It's called delete modal. All right. There we go. I did include it, but I put the order in the wrong place. All right. So now we have this modal. We click on it, and we got these bots included automatically. Beautiful, right? Now we need to more, style it a little bit. So I'm gonna go back here to the modal. I'm going to create an anchor tag right here with a class of btn and another class of btn danger. All right, that's going to make it red. And I'm gonna call this cancel, actually delete. This one is gonna be called cancel. I'm gonna put an extra class because we are going to be targeting this. I'm gonna call this modal delete link. There we go. All right, just remember the name just in case we forget. All right, so now that we have this, let's just look at it real quick. All right, perfect. So now we got it. It's working, right? And here we just want some nice text that says something like, are you sure you want to delete this post, or whatever it is that you are deleting. All right, so now you don't even have to go to the last lecture to actually see this being implemented. Now you can see it right here. Look at this. Are you sure you want to delete, or cancel? Now we want that text a little bigger, right? So let's make this H1 and H1. Oops. I don't need to show you that, right? So anyway, so what we're going to be doing and how we are going to be doing it is that, let's see if we can minimize this a little bit. There we go. There we go. We can make it H2 actually. Too big, right? All right. That's fine. All right, so the way we are going to be doing this is when we click here, all right, we need to pull the ID out of the post, whatever ID we have here, and that way we can send that request to the delete function, right? So let's do that. And we're going to be doing that with jQuery. So we're going to be using a little bit of that here. All right. Now, one thing that I have to let you know is that in order for us to target this specific button here, we need to write the code, the JavaScript code, in the same file on the view or post page. Why? Because that data is being produced dynamically, and we cannot access that data from anywhere else unless we are in the same dynamic data, unless we include that JavaScript there in that same dynamic data. And the way we're going to be doing that is by putting our JavaScript somewhere here. So if we go all the way to the bottom here of this file, view or post, we can write our JavaScript right here. All right, and we can create our document that right here. But instead of creating all that document that right, we can go to scripts and get it from there, right here. All right, we're gonna close it with a, there we go. And now alert, just to make sure that it is working. And let's go to this button right here. Let's just create a copy of it and then comment it out. And all this we're gonna take off, this on click right there, and let's just make sure it has an href, and also let's make sure it has a class, right? All right, and we're gonna call this delete button or delete link, just delete link. Let's come back here, copy that out. Actually, we have our code right here. Let's go to the bottom here and let's create an event here for that. And we're gonna say on, we're gonna use this function on from jQuery. When we click on it, right, we want this callback function to be activated, and this callback function is going to have this alert that's going to say it works or something like that. All right, we save it. Make sure that you save everything. And if we refresh, we click on this and it says it doesn't work. All right, you see that? And the reason why it doesn't work is because on this view or post page, jQuery is not included. Remember that jQuery is included all the way in the bottom of the page, on the footer, right, all the way in the bottom of the footer, and we are not including this all the way in the bottom of the footer. So what we need to do is we need to go to our includes, go to our footer, and take jQuery out of there, this script, the link, and go to the header and include this right after our editor. Paste it, and if we refresh and click on that file again, now it works. All right, beautiful. Let's see if we can do something else on this video real quick. All right, so the next step for us to do is to pull the ID out of it. That's the first step. So how are we gonna do that? Well, let's go back to view or post here, and if we look at the link, we have a class here on this link already called delete. All right, but we don't have the post ID anywhere here. Well, we have it right here. So let's copy this post ID. Let's copy it and let's put it in. Let's create another attribute here called rel, and let's just post the ID right there. So now we can pull it from this specific link. So we save it. Let's go back to the bottom code right here and let's target that, and we're gonna say this. Let's put a variable first and let's call it ID. Let's use jQuery with this, meaning this specific link, whatever link is clicking, we are clicking at the moment, and we're gonna be pulling out the ID from that rel, from the attribute, and the attribute name is rel, and now the ID should be there. Let's just alert it just to make sure that it is there. And if you don't know jQuery much, you can take my jQuery course, and you can learn a whole bunch. It's pretty useful. Basically, it's JavaScript, but in an easier way to do it. So we refresh, make sure that, and when we click it, we get that ID right here. It's working. Beautiful. And now if we click on another one, we get the ID for that specific link. That's what we use in this right here. All right. Remember, this function, this callback function, is targeting this specific link the specific class, wherever that class is targeting that, and this means just that specific item, that element. All right, in this case is an anchor tag with a class of delete link. But anyway, hopefully you got this far. All right, if not, just rewind the video and look at it. It's pretty easy to do. And if this confuses you, again, I have a really good jQuery course available, and there's always discounts available on this specific platform, or if you can ask me, and if you can't afford it, I can always help you out. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next lecture.